Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of City Council. My name is Julia Estrada. I am the Cultural Arts Programs Manager for the City of Oxnard Culture and Community Services Department. I will be presenting tonight on behalf of Terrell Harrison, Cultural and Community Services Director. The item before you is an amendment to extend the operating agreement for the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center, auditorium, and meeting rooms. The recommendation is that the City Council authorize the mayor to execute the facility management agreement between the City of Oxnard and Sterling Venue Ventures for a 5-year extension for the operation, maintenance, and management of the auditorium and meeting rooms. The Oxnard Performing Arts Center was built in 1968. It includes an auditorium with 1,604 seats and 8 additional meeting rooms. Additionally, there are approximately 500 on-site parking spaces and designated loading areas for event support. The facility offers a convenient venue for a wide range of cultural, educational, and entertainment events, as well as patio space for community gatherings such as weddings, receptions, banquets, and more. The PACC previously operated in the red and depended on city subsidies for its operations, receiving $1.6 million in fiscal year 18 and almost $1.3 million in fiscal year 19 from the general fund and Measure O. A look at what brought us to today. In 2019, the city faced a $9.2 million budget shortfall. At that time, staff presented the City Council with the recommendation to temporarily close the PACC and save over $1 million annually in subsidies towards the facility until a solution can be developed. The City Council chose to fund keeping the facility open in the interim and issued a request for proposals in August of 2019. For this time, the city entered into a 6-month management agreement with the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Nonprofit Corporation from July to December of 2019. The budget that was presented to the city of Oxnard was for $635,801.50. This was to keep the 114 events that were previously scheduled in the facility for the operations of those events. It also provided some adequate time for termination notice for those events scheduled in 2020. During this time, OPACC was expected to retain all event revenues, estimated at approximately $222,801.50 to support the budget. The city allocated a subsidy of up to $410,000 from Measure O. Any shortfall would be covered by the OPACC. Meanwhile, the city's RFP process resulted in 3 bidders responding to the competitive bidding process for the operations of the facility. This included Venue Tech, Management Group, Laser Broadcasting, and the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Corporation with Sterling Venue Ventures. The top-rated company, Venue Tech, withdrew from the RFP process in November of 2019, stating that their approach to successfully transform the PACC to a professional performing arts center required a commitment the city was unable to make at the time. As Venue Tech was the only lead operator that met the minimum qualifications, the city canceled the solicitation process in December of 2019. The city then entered into a 60-day extension with the OPACC. During this extension, OPACC operated the meeting rooms at the property and the auditorium was closed. That agreement was to terminate on February 29th, 2020. Facing the potential closure of the facility, the city negotiated a proposed agreement with Sterling Venue Ventures, and in February 2020, the Oxnard City Council approved a 5-year agreement with Sterling Venue Ventures to manage PACC. The agreement included an option for council to extend it for an additional 5 years. The current agreement with Sterling Venue Ventures is set to expire on March 1st, 2025. In addition to operating the PACC, Sterling also owns and/or manages 3 other entertainment venues: the Canyon Agora Hills, the Canyon Redondo Beach, and the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. SVV's owner, Lance Sterling, also serves as Chief Entertainment Officer for the Dolby Theater in Hollywood. With over 25 years in the industry, Sterling collaborates with talent agencies and local promoters to produce more than 1,000 concerts annually across Southern California. The city has a 2-part agreement with Sterling Venue Ventures at this time, one for the auditorium and one for the meeting rooms. Each agreement requires Sterling to provide all programming and the associated staffing, food services, catering, concessions, and merchandising, managing the PACC master calendar, coordinating event production needs of all PACC clients, negotiating talent contracts, and developing and implementing marketing plans. The way that these agreements fall out is the City of Oxnard is the property owner. The PACC Auditorium has a contract with Sterling Venue Ventures. The PACC rooms, the meeting rooms themselves, have the contract with Sterling Venue Ventures, who then works in coordination with the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Corporation. There is also a PACC Youth Center that is fully operated and managed by the City of Oxnard on the property. Revenue goals were set for all these three areas: the auditorium, the meeting rooms, and concessions. Due to COVID hitting the nation in March of 2020, there were very small revenues that happened in that first year of this agreement, fiscal year 2021. And in the following year, we were in a partial COVID situation. We were trying to come back to having indoor activities, and it took a little bit for the entertainment industry to be fully open. Once that happened, we saw a spike in revenues across the board, not only in our auditorium, but also in our meeting rooms, and our concessions followed suit with those bookings. The proposal is an amended and restated agreement for the operations of the auditorium and meeting rooms. This will be from March 2025 through 2030. Based on the successful management and operations of the PACC facility by Sterling, the city does recommend consolidating the two parts of the agreement into one amended and restated agreement for both the auditorium and meeting rooms. The term extension would be the 5-year renewal option for the PACC property. Within this proposed amended and restated agreement for the operations, there is some increases to the funding of the facility. Our utilities that would be paid by the city, the limits that are placed for those, will have a 3% increase beginning fiscal year 26 and carrying through the end of this agreement. Any utilities that exceed these targets, Sterling will pay those excess costs beyond these thresholds. In addition, we will be making an amendment to the maintenance section of this agreement, allowing Sterling to be responsible for general maintenance and upkeep within the designated areas of the agreement, and also allowing them to complete any facility repairs up to $5,000 on their own. All capital improvement projects at the PACC property do remain in the responsibility of the City of Oxnard. For permitting, the city does warrant that all permits required for the operation of the PACC property are in place and active. Sterling acknowledges that it has obtained an alcohol beverage control license for alcohol beverage sales and consumption on the PACC property, which is valid and effective from September 9th, 2020 through August 31st, 2025, in which time it would need to be renewed. There are alternatives for the future of the PACC operations, and the other options for consideration could potentially include: first, to extend the contract with Sterling Venue Ventures for 24 months and issue a fresh RFP. This would provide the continuity of operations while the city issues the request for proposals. The second option is to end the contract with Sterling Venue Ventures on March 1st, 2025, and issue a fresh RFP. This approach would create uncertainty within the community about the future event bookings at the PACC. If the option is chosen, the PACC would be dark until a new operator is contracted. The third option, alternate option, is to establish a separate agreement with the Oxnard Performing Arts Center Corporation nonprofit. While it is an option, it is not feasible for sustainable operations of the facility as a whole. Theater operations also require access to kitchen facilities located in the meeting rooms to maintain their alcohol license. Additionally, the theater operator needs the flexibility to book conventions and other events that require using the meeting rooms as breakout areas. Our financial impact based on this proposed recommendation is that beginning the budget process for fiscal year 25-26 will need to accommodate an increase in facility maintenance and utilities. Currently, it's listed at $128,000, $121,800 for the utilities, and $6,200 for ground maintenance outside of Exhibit B. This first year increase would increase it to $131,000, $840 for which would be the 3% year by year increase. Increases following and subsequent listed are listed in this slide as well. Revenue projections are to follow the same incremental increases of 3% per year. These revenue targets would reflect the additional budget allocations to still meet the commitment of this facility being a balanced facility and not requiring additional subsidies. The projected breakdown of areas. So for the auditorium and concessions, their breakdown of revenues are listed, as well as the projected rental of meeting rooms with the 3% increase. How those are represented are found on the lower section of the chart with estimated utility costs, the street side landscaping, and general maintenance support from the city of Oxnard for repairs on site. As you can see, their projected revenues for fiscal year 26 sit at $255,440, and our estimated city costs match that number. These increases all go throughout the 5 years of this agreement and show that we have the ability to balance and not require additional subsidies. Again, the recommendation for the City Council to consider tonight is that the City Council authorize the mayor to execute the facility management agreement between the City of Oxnard and Sterling Venue Ventures for the 5-year extension for the operation, maintenance, and management of the Oxnard Performing Arts and Convention Center auditorium and meeting rooms. Staff will be available the night of this meeting for any questions or concerns related to this recommendation. Thank you.